weirdest things I've discovered about success is that sometimes the thing you say you want, literally everything in your body, in your subconscious mind, is actively trying to make sure you don't get. It's wild. It's so wild. As a business coach and hypnotherapist for the last decade, I have seen behind the scenes of many, many different businesses. I myself have invested almost $100,000 in masterminds and just being in spaces to continuously learn and develop my own skill and receive support. So I've seen behind the scenes of a lot of different businesses. And let me tell you, everyone comes across this challenge of self-sabotage, which looks different, but no matter what industry you're in, no matter how much experience you have, and no matter what strategy you use, if you don't have the right self-concept, you will self-sabotage. It is by design. Our mind, our subconscious mind, does not actually want us to change. I know, crazy. It wants to keep us safe. That is by design. It is not a flaw. It is actually an evolutionary adaptation to create safety. And self-sabotage doesn't have to be this dramatic thing. It can sometimes look like just being super productive, just on like all of the wrong things, like constantly tweaking your offers or trying to get a perfect website or just like working on tasks constantly, but like things are not actually moving forward. And I know this because I was doing that for quite a long time, actually. You know, you can be visualizing all the things you want, journaling, scripting, saying affirmations. But the thing is, if your subconscious is not on board, you have a huge force that is literally bracing against the thing that you say you want. And the way that looks is like burning out, like just being stressed as you're working on things, or you know, things being delayed all the time, or you get the thing and then you burn it to the ground. You know, like when you make a lot of money but you can't seem to keep it. You know, if your identity isn't aligned, then your strategy can actually become a source of self-sabotage in some ways. You're like, I have to follow the strategy, but if your identity doesn't match that, it's like, it's the 2 steps forward and 3 steps back kind of thing. It's just like, it's a drag. It's like trying to sprint with the brakes on. And this is true really in every area of life. It's not just a theory. Like I used self-hypnosis to break through a plateau in my business. I'm going to share with you how I did that. And it's also this very same thing that helped me to get in front of hundreds of people to sing in public for my first time ever singing in public, or how I DJ'd the sold out show, and like how I like step into learning and doing new things. It's because I know how to work with my self-identity. And anytime I'm stuck in my life, it's because I need to work on my self-identity. So I want to share with you how I used self-hypnosis to break through a massive block in my business. But before I tell you what self-hypnosis did for me, I'm going to tell you about what stopped me. And that was resistance. This is what stops most people. And I'm not talking about the kind of resistance that is like, danger, danger, don't go that way. But it's the kind of resistance that we actually need for our evolution. Most people are afraid of resistance. I think, like, there's even this thing, like, take the path of least resistance. So many people live by that. But the reality is, if there's no resistance in something you're choosing, then it's not going to grow you. We need some resistance. And that's like a part of the path that is actually going to take us into our greatest evolution. So anytime you're trying to make a decision about something, what path is going to grow you, if you're wanting to grow, choose the one that also contains resistance. Desire and resistance. It's a good formula. Go in that path. It's going to grow and expand you. Because if you choose things that only contain desire and there's no resistance, you might enjoy that, but it's not going to take you to your next level. We get quantum leaps by choosing resistance on purpose. Back to self-hypnosis. So about 6 years ago, I had clients coming in from referrals, and I had enough clients to pay my bills, but it was pretty inconsistent. Some months I'd make $12,000, the next month I'd make $0. And that inconsistency was kind of like starting to wear on me a little bit. You know, not so much financially, but just like trust. Like I felt like I was just like always just barely keeping up. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't know, is it my messaging? Should I be doing marketing? Like what do I need to be doing? And I didn't know, and I was always trying to like learn more to try to figure it out. I joined business masterminds, I did online trainings, I downloaded every free guide on the internet I could find. I mean, this was before ChatGPT was everywhere. I was just trying to learn everything that I could. I even joined a $30,000 year-long business mastermind, and I still couldn't figure it out. I was really overwhelmed, to be honest. It started to get to me. And one day, my friend introduced me to a mystic. And I was always very curious. She would tell me stories about him. But I was also pretty skeptical, too. But I had tried so many other things. I was like, whatever, I'll give this a shot. So the first thing he asked me was what my calendar looked like. Like, what was my schedule? And so I told him, I was like, well, I have clients in New York, and sometimes they want to do sessions in the morning, so I get up extra early because I'm on the West Coast. But I also have clients in Australia, so sometimes I have to do some late at night. I think I also had a client in Johannesburg at the time, and then I had a client in Bali, and I just had clients all over the map, and so sometimes I had to be up early, but then, they worked Monday to Friday, so sometimes I had to work Saturdays. Basically, I worked any day, anytime, except for Sundays. And I was pretty much willing to see my clients any other time, whenever they needed. And he said to me, that doesn't sound like a very clear schedule. Then he asked me to feel what it was like if I had my calendar full, my current calendar full. And so I thought about it. And I thought about the early mornings and the late nights and even the Saturdays, and I just imagined my whole day full. And my body started to get tight, my belly started to just turn and squeeze, and I wanted to hide. And he looked at me and he said, you don't want a full calendar. I was like, wait, what? And he went on, he said, you don't have any boundaries. You're working at all hours of the day and night, trying to figure out all the different time zones. You don't want more clients. And I realized he was right. Not only did I not want more clients, all I was doing in my spare time was trying to figure out how to get more. So I was just not even really enjoying my life at that point. It was just work and stress and worry. I realized he was right. There was no container. There was no space in my life, not even to enjoy. That's the day when I realized that self-hypnosis was not just for losing weight or ending bad habits or self-love or confidence. I could literally recode my subconscious to improve my business in my visibility, with my client attraction, and in how much I actually let myself receive. I began systematically reverse engineering every single result that I wanted to have in my business and created a self-hypnosis recording to install that self-identity. That became the blueprint I've had for every single breakthrough in my business ever since. And it's the same thing that I take my clients through. And not just to make more money in their business, but to actually enjoy their life more, to make more money in less time, to improve the quality of their relationships and their community, to actually feel confident in the work and the movement that they're here to lead. Because to me, business is not just about money. It is your evolutionary path. It is one of the greatest personal development paths you will ever walk. It's more like business artistry by crafting your self-concept every single step of the way. And as long as you want to keep growing, you will need to continue to refine your self-concept. You're always expanding into more, which means you will always be seeing new things in yourself. And if you're not, that is the thing that is keeping you stuck. And in fact, that's exactly why in my mastermind, we upgrade the self-concept before taking any action on strategy. First, you install the self-identity, then you implement the strategy. We do this for confidence on video, we do this for sales, we do this for like literally everything, storytelling, messaging, every area of your business that you want to improve. You install your self-concept, upgrade your self-concept, and then take action. This is like the most incredible quantum leaps come from this. It's so much easier because we always live in accordance with who we think we are. Think about it like this. If you're a vegan, you don't wake up in the morning thinking like, oh, I better not eat the steak. Like, it's just who you are. I was vegetarian for like 13 years, and I was vegan for a couple of those years too. I didn't once think about meat because it was so ingrained as part of my identity. It's who I was. I didn't battle that, or I wasn't stressed about that. I didn't overthink that. That was just undeniable. That was just who I was. And so I behaved that way. 0 second thought, 0 stress. So imagine this kind of alignment in your business. When you go from, oh, I help people as a coach, as a healer, to I'm the CEO of a business. I treat my business like art. How do you think you're going to behave? How do you think you're going to make decisions? What do you think is possible for yourself? How is your subconscious going to respond? You think it's going to pump the brakes and sabotage you? No, it has to rise to your level of identity. This is how your marketing becomes magnetic. Your sales become a joy, a service. It becomes second nature. And clients just resonate with you because they can feel you, because you are feeling you. That's what main character energy is all about. I've been obsessed with main character energy. I've got a 5-day intensive that I do, 5-day online main character energy intensive. It is so powerful. We create a little micro shift to get you into your main character energy, and it's incredible what happens in just 5 days. The manifestations, the breakthroughs, the things that end, right? Relationships, jobs, so much has ended. The testimonials from these experiences are so incredible. This is one of my most highly requested programs, and it's because everything is about your self-identity. My client Kate is a life coach for lawyers, and she came into the 5-day challenge struggling, just being split, coaching and also still being at her firm, and feeling split in her identity. And she embodied her main character energy. She quit her job. She went all in on her business, and she's now creating consistent 20, 30K months. It's only been like 2 months since she did this. It's already happening. That is the power of getting all of your energy focused in the same direction, getting all of your identity on board with your body, your mind, your subconscious mind, and the desires that live in your heart. But the thing is, you have to find the place where there's resistance. When you think about you have an option, something you want to do, what's the option that has both desire and resistance? Lean into that. I promise you this is going to lead to the growth that you're looking for. Now, it's not necessarily easy, because when we're making changes in our life, most people's business challenges aren't strategy. Like, strategy does matter, but it is your heart on the line. It is your emotions and your unconscious patterns and your self-sabotage that is actually going to slow you down. And it's the main thing that holds people back. So you need this support to work with the unconscious, to work with your emotions, because it really is your heart on the line. When you are doing something that you feel passionate about, when you are treating your business like the evolutionary journey that it really is, when you are here to lead a movement, to make an immense impact, inspiration, and income in your business, you need the main character energy. Otherwise, you're just working against yourself. So if you want to join us, I'll put all the details below. It's a 5-day online intensive. It's such an incredible experience. You can treat it like an online, like a retreat. Like, if you really create the 5 days as a retreat for yourself, you're going to have such an incredible, powerful transformation. You'll rewire your identity with hypnosis. We have embodiment practices. We make art. You will upgrade your self-identity to embody main character energy, clear visibility blocks, and whatever's holding you back from really owning and being the person you want to be in your business, in your relationships, and in your life. You'll feel the shift instantly. And yeah, just check out some of the stories. The testimonials are incredible. The things that have happened, it's life-changing. So if you want to join us, I would love to see you in there. The link will be in the description. Let's get you on the right timeline.